Hey, it's Dorleen. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be creating a cover and also some signatures for a new junk journal. So I'm using this little golden book as my covers, but I want to remove all the book pages because I'm going to be creating my own signatures. Now, I thought this was going to be super easy. I just kind of you could see me wiggling, trying to figure out how these papers are attached. I really thought they were sewn in because I know a lot of books signatures are sewn in, but I could not find any thread pieces. I even took out my little X-Acto knife or craft knife, and I still searching. And the more I was trying to peel it open, the more I was starting to do damage to the book. So then I decided I'm going to use this knife and just cut down the back of the spine because I really wanted to keep that golden kind of wrapper part on the front and the back of the book. So by doing that, I realized, what's holding it together are two huge staples. So that is why I didn't find thread, because there was none to find. But once I figured that out, I knew I needed to try to remove those staples. I don't have a staple remover in my craft room, but I do have a Cricut weeding tool and some tweezers, and the combination of the both of those really worked and did the job. So basically, I just took out the staples. I tried to save the inside of the book pages as much as I could. Now, I'm kind of flipping through it because when I showed my daughter this book, she was like, "Mom, the drawings are kind of creepy." So I kind of laughed because this is definitely some 60s drawings, and it would definitely be a lot better or a lot different if they were drawn today. But so I took the staples out in the back. Well, obviously I need to take them completely out. And so once I did that, again, just using the back of my tweezers and also the Cricut weeding tool really did the job. So once I did that, I figured, okay, now I need to work on the spine. I wanted to use something sturdy but also flexible. So I found this pocket. It's like a Tyvek envelope, I think is what it's called. And to me, I feel like it's sturdy enough, but also still I will, my goodness, I had to spit that out. I will be able to sew through it because I do plan on sewing my signatures in, and that'll be a different video. So please stay tuned for that. And while I'm on that subject, why don't I tell you, I do post 2 videos a week. One is always scrapbooking, and the other is whatever it is I'm creating in the command center. And you can tell by this video, this time I'm creating a junk journal. So, please hit that subscribe button if you're interested in any of these things. Also hit the notification bell because that way when I do post new videos, you will be notified. I knew I wanted a portion of this Tyvek, or a good portion, to be attached to the inside of the back and front covers. So I figured about 1 inch would be plenty, and I'm just using a ruler and a pencil to draw that. And basically I'm drawing it so I know where to put the adhesive, and also it'll help me make sure that when I do adhere it to the covers, it's going to be in a straight-ish line. I always say straight-ish because I don't care what I'm doing, nothing ever seems to be straight. But I'm also folding them. I'm not really sure why, but probably for the same reason. And I'm just kind of making sure, is this what I want to do? Do I want it to be this thick? And my answer is yes. It's 2.5 inches, the spine part. So with the addition of, the inch on both sides, this is 8 by 4.5 inches. And I will have a link down below to my blog. And on my blog, I'll have more photos and also more details on the measurements and things like that. Although, if you're planning on doing something like this, depending on the size of your book, of course, your measurements will be different. But this is all learn as I go because I've never done this type of thing. Now, I do have a junk journal and I did create the signatures, but the cover was actually a FedEx box because you know how a box, it's got the spine technically, right? You can imagine it. And so I didn't have to do all of this stuff. I basically just wrapped string around the spine and then threaded in or slid in, if you want to call it that, excuse me, the different signatures. This one's going to be different because I'm actually going to sew it in. And that's why I wanted it to be a flexible type material because sure, you can poke holes in in the cardboard, but that just seemed like too much work. I don't know. So again, learn as I go, right? But right now, things are working exactly how I can imagine. And I'm just, like I said, adhering those in with some super strong double-sided tape. I'll probably end up doing some other kind of reinforcement once I get the signatures in and I am a little bit more aware of what I need and where I need to put more reinforcement. So that's it for there. Pretty nice. Now I'm going to work on the signatures. So I grabbed a whole bunch of things that I have in my little container. That piece actually came from copier paper. It was like the covering of it, like way too pretty to be covering copier paper. I was so excited when I saw that. Those are pieces that I was gifted in it was called Trading Pals. I was so happy with what I got. So you can just see it's just a random variety of probably gel prints and just random pretty paper. Now this, I get a lot of mail at work, so I kind of keep the stamps that are different. And I just put them on a piece of paper and then I made copies of them. These are copies of different arts that I've done. And, leftover bags that I can use for pockets. That was for a Super Bowl pool. I keep everything, people. And believe me, if this is something you're interested in doing, keep everything. Magazine papers, notebook papers, postcards, coloring pages, copies of things. Look at that winter program, envelopes. This was a freebie from an artist. Keep that stuff. Make copies of things. This was a junk mail advertisement, and I love the colors and just how wow that whole thing is, and that's pretty cool. That was just a sample of a card or card paper. These were game pieces that I found, that I threw away under paper, just a little bit of everything. I've also kept like large envelopes, which you'll see me use later. And I'm just like busting through these because you don't need to see every little thing. But I did have to cut down a lot of things because, the book was 8 inches tall. And, most copier paper is 8.5 by 10, right? So I did cut them down, or 8.5 by 11, whatever it is. You know what it is. You know what I'm talking about. I did have to cut down a lot of the papers down to 7.5 inches, but that's fine. And I folded for the most part everything in half. There are some things that I kind of off folded, so you get like a little tab-like look inside your signature, but that's also very fun. But, I'm just kind of putting things in. I'm using as many book pages from the actual book as possible. I'll probably add more in. I do stack about 10 on each one, and that gives a really good variety. But here you go. The signatures are going to fit perfectly in there, and I'm super excited about it. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit subscribe and give me a like. Thanks again for watching. Bye.